And the weirdest part is that he was an introvert. Now, he says it himself that I was an introvert. Even being in this podcast is painful for me. And I agree. See, when you're terrible at something and you decide to make a change and say that I'm going to be good at it now, that's when, if you become good at it, there's no stopping you because you came from scratch. You built your path so far. Now you know how to go further because you came so far on your own. And so you are going to be as good as you want to be. So I have picked the podcast of David Goggins with Chris Williamson. Sorry, I misspelled or misnamed his last name last time. Because this is the only one I think which is available on YouTube. No, GRE is also available on YouTube. Okay. So what I'm going to do is go for the GRE one because it was 4 years ago. And even at that point, he was a brilliant speaker. Now, there are two types of speakers. Speakers who are like political speakers, who are there with an agenda. They are going to rile up the crowd. But all of it is systematic science, that they know what the audience is going to love. And they know the way they should be talking. For example, if you look at Barack Obama, he's talking great. He's a great speaker again. If you look at Shashi Tharoor, he's talking great as well. But those are like political speakers. That's what they are. They're politicians by profession. The way David Goggins talks is what you can call him as an emotional speaker. He speaks by heart and he speaks the emotions. He always speaks the things that, he always talks about the things that he's experienced in. So I want you to just listen to this particular segment, which I also do not know what it is. But I'm going to point out why you love David Goggins so much. And it's not because he was in SEALs. It is not because he is running ultra marathons. It is not because he was in Air Force. It's not because of the beautiful book that he has written. It's mainly because the way he talks. There can be a body double of this man who has done exactly the same things that he has done and does not talk like him, and you will not love him as much. Matter of fact, don't you think there are more accomplished people? Of course there is. Like Jocko Willings will be equally, if not more accomplished than him. But you would love to listen to David Goggins more. All right, so here we go. Also, I'm not saying Jocko Willings is not a fantastic speaker. Someday I'm going to break him down as well as a speaker. Not like break him down. He's probably going to break me down. So as a speaker, I'll try to decipher his way of speaking as well. Comment it down in the comment section who you want to be deciphered as well. Here we go.
And I struggled my whole life, but I ran from it. So I started realizing, man, I got to start facing the struggle, and I got to be mentally strong for the struggle. So that's why I started coming up with, like, I'm training for life. Mentally, I'm training for life. I'm not training for, like, to lift 400 pounds.
The number one thing that you need to notice over here is that there are no connectors. Listen to this part again. Like I said, I just randomly picked this part, but I know that he's a great speaker. Listen to it again.
Mentally, I'm training for life. I'm not training for, like, to...
See, I'm not training for, like, he was thinking about what he should say next. But most of what you guys are going to do is, I was training for, and just filling in the gaps that you are so uncomfortable with. But he will take those pauses.
400 pounds. And I found out on my own pretty much, is that through discipline, through self-discipline, through repetition, through tons of repetition of the same thing that you don't want to do, and that's the key thing. Through repetition of things you don't want to do, you develop mental, like an armor for your mind.
See, he is good at using gaps as well. He's going to create those suspense. Now, I've talked about this in auto speaking before, but I'm going to give you a brief idea. What gaps does is that it's two birds, one stone. So if a person is taking voluntary gaps, like not those gaps that you take just because you do not know what to say next. I know exactly what I'm going to say next, but I'm going to take those gaps. Now, what that does is two. Number one, it creates a suspense because I'm going to place that gap exactly before something impactful. And the second thing is that my audience, you better grasp everything that I said before that so that that impact is even better. Gaps are great because of just those two reasons. And this shift of where you place a gap changes everything. Sometimes you may place the gaps in between the words for no reason, just because you're thinking of what you need to say next or what word you should be using. You just change the position of the gap and everything changes. All of a sudden, you start to look like a professional speaker, sound like a professional speaker, instead of an amateur speaker that you were sounding like when you are using the gaps in the wrong places.
To armor your mind, because your mind's like, okay, we suffer every day.
See, he's going to take a gap after that because he just said something impactful.
For your mind. Start to armor your mind, because your mind's like, okay, we suffer every day. It's what we do.
That's what we do. That's what he wanted to say. Simple lines. He's confident about that. He's going to use. If think about what if he says like this: we suffer every day. That's what we do. But there's no impact in that, right? So he's going to use gaps in those positions. There's no which is going to make you seem like underconfident, even if you're not. The same man who is just as accomplished as he is right now starts using connectors, he's going to be 50% less confident in appearance. That is why you love David Goggins, because of the way he talks.
We do stuff that sucks every day. So then when the suck stuff comes.
See, that's what I'm saying. When the suck stuff comes, I'm not going to say what I'm going to say right away. Hey, dude, start listening to me carefully because something big is coming.
You're ready for it. And that's how it started coming up. I just started being very uncomfortable. Now it's like just a way of life.
Got it? So that's what I'm talking about. You can be great in what you do, but if you're not a good speaker, nobody is listening. At least nobody is listening with that much amount of attention. And that's what a lot of you guys are missing out on because you are not paying attention towards the way that you're speaking, or you're not working voluntarily to become a better speaker. You have to take that seriously. Even if you're just looking for a job, what do you think your employers look for? Your employers look for your confidence. If you are confident, that means, even if it is not, at least that appears that you are well-rounded, you are well-educated, you are knowledgeable, you know what you're doing. And then on the contrary, let us say you know everything, you're very knowledgeable, and then, I don't know, underconfident. Who's going to trust you? Maybe you're underconfident because you don't know much. See, your interviewers are humans as well. They're just going to judge on the basis of appearance. And that's the way I was able to outperform so many people much more knowledgeable than me. Do you think that I was the fourth best mechanical engineer in 2018 to appear in Indian Space Research Organization? Of course not. There were at least 100 better than me. It's just that in the interview room, I was able to be more confident, or at least appear more confident. You have to start taking it seriously, guys. And if you say, Ashish, what do I need to do? Well, if you want to do it free, start recording yourself every day in front of mirror for 20 minutes. Listen to what you have recorded and work on the connectors voluntarily. Eliminate that and speak every day so that you get the confidence and the fluency to the point where you are choosing where you're placing the gap. If you need more information or help, go for Art of Speaking. I'll leave the link down in the description box. But start working on it. In any case, this is the most important thing for whatever you're doing, man. You can right now be trying to become a scientist, or right now trying to become an actor. You are going to negotiate your position in any case with your voice. That's it. That's it.